And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, July 25th, 2020. It's normally how your radio people folks sound. It's season 14, episode 22. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
Welcome to the show, everybody. If you would like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. 334-272-9228. If you want to call in, talk to us, ask us questions, tell us what you've been playing. Anything like that, we'd love to hear from you. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can find us Facebook, InGameChat as well. You can email us, everyone at ingamechats.net. Streaming right now on Twitch. As you can see, if you're on Twitch, go to twitch.tv, type in In-Game Chat. That's how you can find us. It's the same thing we've been doing for years. Join live in the chat room while we broadcast. Let us do the thing where I do the board and the chop. There we go.
Clap, clap.
It's the clapper. I gotta use this stuff now. Got me some cleaner.
Hope it works for us.
Clean the whiteboard. I think I already have an eraser.
Well, we got another one now.
Yeah, I think I have an eraser downstairs. Whiteboard care. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. What's been going on? We had a big event with Xbox happen this week to tell us about the games that are coming out for the Xbox Series X. And I don't know. Let me see who's here, because it hasn't refreshed for me, because right now it just says that 3 people are in the room with us. Like, your name isn't even popped up on the thing yet to let me know. Like, how do I fix that? Is there a reload? Do I need to reload? Let's see what happens when I reload. Let's see if I screw anything up. Well, first off, it erased everything that was just said previous. So that stuff's gone. But I do have Lethal Migraine, Drunk Degenerates, Casket Sharp, Arioka, and AC Wraith in the chat room. And now your name's in there, IGCRJ. It's in there as well. Lethal Migraine. Glad to see that he's here, because Xbox held their thing. Mm-hmm. And I know... I'm not going to call him a fanboy. I think that's kind of like a derogatory thing to say to him, because I don't believe that he feels he is one. Mm-hmm. I feel that he is, but he has a direction in which he goes, and it leans towards Microsoft. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious as to that show is trash. That's what I was like, hey, buddy. Not for nothing, but man, but that wasn't the best of things, was it? Yeah.
So, he likes Microsoft, but he's not afraid to tell them when they drop the ball.
Which is why the term fanboy would not apply to him. So
when they mess up, he'll be the first to let you know.
Well, and I'm glad he did. And honestly, they didn't mess up in the worst of ways. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it hasn't been the best of summers for these companies to announce their games. Mm-hmm. Ubisoft had a poor showing. Sony didn't have a great showing at all. Sony, the big thing that came from Sony was that they showed off what their console looked like, because we didn't know what it was going to look like. So it's like, oh, there's a thing. So that had a lot of that had a lot of staying power. Not necessarily in a positive or negative way, but it kept people talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
Microsoft had a lot of staying power, but only in the negative sense, just like he's saying, where a lot of it stayed in the negative of like, what is that? That was not the best sort of thing. There's still reasons to love Microsoft, and there's still reasons that put Microsoft that puts Microsoft still kind of ahead of Sony in regards. I mean, obviously, and we've talked about this on paper, Microsoft has a much more powerful system than the PS5 on paper, and also it's not much of a bump, but it's still a bump. You know, somebody asks you what's better, I'm going to tell you it's the Xbox Series X is better than the PlayStation 5 as far as power. Well, what about games? Well, there we go. Yeah. Now I can tell you something different because it's going to apply to you more than it's going to apply to me. Where's the comment I left? So me and James were talking while we were watching this. I wish James would come back and be on the show for a while. I mean, he's in town. What are you doing, James? You're not doing anything. Come be on the show with us. Let's see. I'm looking back to where we talked about. Yeah, that's the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids video game. This makes me want more Alan Wake. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Xbox is showing off right now. He says, I just tuned in. Then I say, I miss Halo. I haven't played it since the intro mission of Halo 4. He says, same, more or less. Couldn't really stay interested in 4 and never bothered with 5. This doesn't look particularly interesting to me, but I'll keep an open mind. I said, same. Doesn't look all that impressive visually, and gameplay looks like it always has. That part isn't bad, so to speak, but I think they've beaten that horse until it died. They kept beating it. They buried it. They dug it back up again to beat it some more. It's done. It's dry. It's over. I think that was a little bit on the far side on my whole thing, but the point still sticks that whatever they showed off, impressive, visually impressive, it was not. Yeah, I don't know what that and the chat room's kind of loading up with stuff here, and we're gonna go over that, and we're gonna hit this in a bigger sense here coming up in the next segment. So, but first I want to go over what we played, and yeah, I'll get to that stuff later. I'll get to that stuff if I have time at the end. But what we played. And I will start with you, RJ.
Still doing item management in Fantasy Star Online 2. Still doing a lot of that every day. Still doing events here or there, trying to build up experience. I built my main character up to level 63, so I'm about 12 spots from the max for my ranger. And I didn't understand the disparity between the main and the alternate class that I've got, so I've got a lot of making up to do in my secondary class. So I've got to spend some time switching off of my main and getting to the secondary class and building that up to catch up with my main.
Yeah.
Because when I get to 75 on both of them, I pretty much set myself up for another class that I could get to when they eventually bring it out to the States. But outside of that, for the main part, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I've been getting a little further ahead in the story mode, playing that game, and it's been really interesting because there's so many side missions that you got to go on that are all pretty interesting, and it really gives you
that game is
motivation to get through them and see it through to the end.
That game it hasn't scratched an itch, but it's giving me an itch. It's the talk around it, the constant the way it's sold so well, everything else. It's starting to develop an itch in me where it's like I should really look into this. I really wasn't on board with it. It looked kind of boring to me. It looked very repetitive. It looked, I don't know, open world like that was just like, I don't know that I want to do all that. I don't know that I want to be, I don't know if I want to go from place to place doing these missions and all over and over and over and over and just, I don't know. Part of me felt like it's going to be the same old over and over and over again. And then at the same time, I keep reading things about like, this is a fantastic game, the combat's great, it's this plus this, and these things. If these two had a baby, this is what it is. And I'm like, well, those other two things are really good, and I enjoy them. And that it's beautiful, and all these other things. It looks wonderful, which I'm sure it would be on my HDR, on my OLED HDR screen. Probably looks fantastic. Yeah. But so I kind of like I need to get on this. I feel like I need to get on the bandwagon, so to speak. Yeah.
Well, in terms of the battle and whatnot,
but you bought it, right?
I bought it out.
See, you and Matt bought it. I need to just borrow it after you guys are done.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess speaking of, no Matt's here, obviously, but I lent Matt my Super Mario Maker, Switch, whatever it's called, Super Mario Maker 2, I guess is what it is. I lent him that. He can lend me a console game every now and again. But I know this thing's huge. It's going to take a while for you guys to go through.
Yeah, it is, because I looked at the map the first day I played. I looked at the size of the map, and it is the entire section of Japan's islands, and I'm like, goodness, this is a lot of place to go through, and there's a lot of things you're going to have to do, because combat, like you were talking about being repetitive, it can be, but you get upgrades.
I wasn't just saying the combat could be repetitive. It just felt like the game overall would be repetitive. Like, go help this village, or go help this person. Okay, you did. You earned some XP. Now you're going to go and fight this, I don't know I don't know. I'm speaking completely ignorantly because I don't know.
Okay,
I haven't looked into anything.
You can apply that to a lot of games with what keeps you playing.
You really could. You could.
You can apply that to a lot of things like that. Heck, we were talking about that with Last of Us 2.
Oh, I'm about
to
tell you about Last of Us 2 because I played a lot of that last night.
Yeah,
I finally picked up, by the way, after. Well, this is yours, not mine. Go ahead.
The combat can get repetitive if you don't get the upgrades that you get through the game as you earn your XP, like you say. But as you get the XP, you earn different things that you can pick up, different abilities, different ways to take out your enemies, be more durable, actually, because I put it on a hard difficulty, and like 2 or 3 shots, and you're like on the brink of death. So you got to build up your health, and I'm not getting much because I didn't have enough experience at the time. So it was a lot of dying a lot throughout this thing, kind of like Dark Souls. You got to die a lot before you get the hang of the things.
See, I'm seeing stuff like that. Ghost of Tsushima is I keep screwing up the name. Ghost of Tsushima.
Did you say Tsushima?
Tsushima.
Say it again.
Tsushima. Tsushima.
There you go.
I know. Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I know. Aesthetically pleasing, he says. It's amazing. I keep hearing nothing but raves for this thing, and I'm really looking forward to eventually getting around to playing it. I am very much against picking up that game right now, or any other game really, because of I'm still playing Last of Us 2.
You don't want things splitting your focus right now.
I really don't, and I damn sure don't want anything taking over my muscle memory. To where I got to figure out, wait a second, what's the controls for this one again? I got to go back because I had to relearn some of Last of Us 2 last night because it had been a month since I played. It'd been over a month since I played it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we'll talk about that, but keep going.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm building up my skills and everything, building up armor, getting my equipment, and getting all the things together, getting everything I need together to take over to fight the Mongols who've invaded your homeland, right? So, as I've said before, going through the story mode, a whole bunch of interesting missions. Okay, there's nothing tedious or just throwaway in this thing, right? Like for instance, the issue with Sensei Ishikawa. You got to go find different people throughout here to help you in your task, right? But you got to do something for them first, or help them get out of the situation.
Yeah.
So the thing about Sensei Ishikawa, like, he has a rogue student. So now you got to figure out why did this student go so rogue as to join the invading force instead of helping out her homeland with her sensei. Why'd she do that? Lady Masako of the Adachi clan. You go meet with her because you want to recruit her to your side as well. Well, when you get to her, you realize there's a conspiracy going on with her. Why is it when the men of the clan were out fighting the Mongols, why did someone come to try to take her down? What's going on here? See, there's a whole bunch of things going on that you have to go figure out before you get them to join up with you. So that's why I said the story has so many interesting side missions that you go on, and you benefit from getting the XP and getting more stuff and building yourself up.
Obviously,
right?
yeah.
So I get the feeling it's going to be all the way through this game. All types of things going to get me interested and hooked in until I finish it through to the end. And combat-wise, it really is a matter of using the right tools for the job. So you got 4 different stances that you can pick. You got to earn them first. You got to take out some Mongol leaders before you can get the skill that you need. So I have one stone stance and water stance. Mm-hmm. One is good for swordsmen. One is good for spearmen. One is good for people with shields, and another is good for the brutes with the big hammers. One for each. So pick your right stance depending on who you're fighting against. Now, when you have multiple types of fighters in there, like a 6-on-1, which has happened to me before.
Yeah.
Like 2 brutes, 2 shieldmen, and 1 swordsman, 1 spearman. Okay, you have to like switching back and forth between stances to take them out. Most of the time for me, it's just been staying in stone stance, the one that I started off with, and then if I had time to think about it, I would switch to another stance. But usually I don't, because like I said, 5 or 6-on-1, you're not focusing on getting your stances right.
Yeah, of course.
I'm trying to like survive, because 3 hits, like I said, 3 hits, you're done. At this point.
What difficulty are you playing it on?
It's on hard right now.
You are playing on hard. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's on hard difficulty
That's
right now.
not something I will do.
But, practice pays in this thing, man. Like I've had boss fights that took me 5-6 deaths to get the pattern down right. Even after I got that, something new came up that threw me off, and lather, rinse, repeat, start over again. Mm-hmm. Do it till you get it right. Battle things like standoffs. There's another thing in there with standoffs where you can invade and you can go to an enemy claimed territory, and there's options for standing off, where you call them out basically.
Yeah.
And they come to attack you. You have to hold your position, hold the attack button down, and when they lunge at you, let it go, and you'll do your perfect strike and take them out. But now they threw another wrinkle in there where they will head fake and make you let go early, and then you're done. You're going to go into they're going to have all the advantage in the world against you at that point. Mm-hmm. So you got to be aware of when they're going to head fake and when they're going to actually lunge at you. So that takes a little getting used to, but it didn't take me too long to do so. After a couple of jump the gun on a couple of battles before I got it down to a science then. And then parrying, defense, all that type of stuff. There's a lot of things you got to learn and get playing this game, and it makes it fun. It makes it fun doing it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I will get to it eventually. Obviously, Last of Us has dragged me down. You played anything else?
No, just those 2 games.
Just those 2 games? All right, cool. For me, it's been 2, but 3 games, I guess. I really don't consider Animal Crossing a game.
Why not?
I don't know, because it feels more like a chore simulator type thing. I don't know that I'm
Stardew Valley.
Exactly.
Farming simulator.
No. But for me, for my personal thing, yeah. I'm not considering it like. Oh, it's kind of like, what did you do this week? Well, the same thing I do every week is I play Animal Crossing. But what I did outside of that was I played, it's just always going to be a thing because I always log in, check my stuff, whatever, done for the day. Sold my turnips this week. Mm-hmm. Made I think I spent $2 million and I made, I think like $8 million
profit.
Oh, massive profit.
Good job.
So old girl come by tomorrow and she'll be selling her turnips and I'll go, buy a bunch and sell some more over the week.
Built up your island anymore?
I have not really built up my island. You don't really build. You can. I think you can do some like terraforming and like do some. You can make your island, whatever. When I go to sell these things, I'm on the internet looking at people who are like, "Hey, I'm selling for this many. Get in line and wait for the code that you can come to my island and get them." Mm-hmm. And it's completely free. I don't have to pay anything to do it. Either in-game currency or even outside currency. It's nothing. It's no skin off my back, but waiting.
Yeah.
So I fly into these other people's islands, man. I'm like, good Lord. They've got gardens and their houses and like they have these streets that are paved and everything is like a neighborhood type. I mean, it's just, mine's all like, mine is of no order whatsoever. Mm-hmm. It is.
But you got dirt roads.
I don't have any roads. I don't even have roads yet. Mm. I haven't gotten to that part. To where I'm going to sit down and start building roads and building, putting together some sort of plan and some sort of organization. I don't know what that's like yet. I don't know how that works yet. If this were something more akin to like a City Skylines or Sim City or something like that, where you can really take over how you plan this whole thing out and like put a road here. And maybe it is. I haven't gotten to that aspect of the game yet. So maybe there is a little bit better interface in how you do that. Right now, when I want to build inclines or bridges or put a house down for somebody who's going to be moving into it, it's very rudimentary. It's very like, this is where you want it. You have no option to like, well, yeah, but lean it this way or turn it this way or let's drop the incline. Let's slope it out. Let's do it. No, it's like, do you want it here or you want it here? Okay, we'll put it there. You know, it's very, very
bare bones basic.
Bare bones, yeah. And so I'm hoping when the whole like terraforming it and laying down streets and city, or you know, doing that planning thing comes to it, that it somehow is a little bit easier, a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never liked that with anything character building especially. I mean, this is something you're going to be using and controlling for a very long time.
That one's not a problem. It was very the character building in this, whatever. I was basing it on a completely different character anyway. Okay. I didn't base it on me. I based it on somebody else because the name of my island is Deadwood. So my guy is not me. Yeah. But yeah. So, and will I go with a Western theme? I might. So far, I've seen a few like Victorian London type aspects, like street lamps and cobblestone roads and things like that. And I'm like, ooh, I might go that route. Or, you know, I might make it a theme park-esque thing where this section of the island is your modern day. This section of the island is your Western area. This section of your island is this, or blah, blah, blah.
Theme park going.
There's a whole massive way, and I've seen them in some of these islands that I visit to sell my turnips and stuff. So there's a lot to it, and you know, when I get there, I'll get there. But the other, let's see. So and then I played Destiny, of course. I would love to say that I did something new. We all ran a raid together as a clan the other day. Everybody in the clan was there. We all ran the raid. We all finished it. It was wonderful because it's like, here's our full clan doing a raid. Normally it's like some of you from the clan and then some of you from a pickup group, from a member you found, you know, going to a website saying, hey, we need another, you know, we need 2 more for our group to run this, or 1 more for our group, or maybe you're 2 of a clan joining a bunch of other people to do it. But no, full clan. Totally. All 6 of us, all in the clan doing our thing. And it's a wonderful experience. I'd forgotten that from back when, you know, we did it with Kingslayer and stuff on, not Kingslayer, it was...
Taken King?
It was Taken King, but what was the name of that raid?
Is that the one we had to jump on stuff before it disappeared?
Yep.
I don't know.
King's Fall? Was that King's Fall?
I don't know. All I know is that when it was my turn to jump, I messed up a lot because I know what I was doing.
I think that's the name of the raid. King's Fall. Ooh, raid. Come on now. Yeah, King's Fall. Yeah, that's the one where you fight the big guy at the end on the ship, and he comes up to the different sides and stuff. Yeah. I hadn't done that with like a bunch of us in a long time. I've done it with a big group of us, but not like the full group and that sort of thing. And this was a little great time that we had. So anyway, there's that. Then, and I don't have enough time to go into it before the break. And I played Last of Us 2. And I want to talk about that, and I will talk about that after the break. Or do I want to talk about Microsoft? I'll talk about Last of Us 2, and I'll talk about Microsoft. Again, no spoilers for Last of Us 2. I have not finished the game, but I'm still not done with the game. But I am further along in it, and I will tell you more about it and what I think of it so far as to where I'm at coming up after the break. We'll also, if we have time, try and jump into the Microsoft thing if there's enough time to do that. If not, we'll push that off to the next segment. But yeah, all of that and more, because I want to read these comments that people are posting here in the chat room, by the way. So all of that coming up. The music stuff is a mix of things that released this week and also things that people were playing or had purchased or had gotten achievements on Steam from my friends list. This being from my friends list. It was Spigot Brock, who was playing a game called The 12 Labors of Hercules. I guess he was playing it. Maybe one of his kids were. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the game, but I was like, that's a game I don't know about and probably don't have any music for. So I looked it up. 12 Labors of Hercules, Level 1 coming up, and we'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from a game called Lithium City. It's a very neon-ish thing. I don't know. I want to say Lecon was playing it on Steam, or had been playing it. Got some achievements, or now owns it or something. I don't know.
Lithium City.
Lithium City. So, anyway. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Scott along with RJ here for the final Saturday of the month of July.
Time flies, don't it?
That I do. We're going to be coming to you next week for the very first day of August. So, haven't been playing... obviously, I haven't been playing Last of Us 2. And I don't know why. There are just times when I see, like, the game released Friday. It came out on a Friday the 19th. And I jumped right into it. Played it a bunch Friday night. Played it a bunch Saturday night. Played it a bunch on Sunday. Then I didn't touch it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Over a month before I put any more time back into it. I don't know why that is, but there was just...
I was just about to ask.
It wasn't that it was bad necessarily, but... I
want to say, were you inspired to play it? Because you know how much time you have to invest in it.
Well, there is a time investment. Because there's not really a point... I play games like that...
story games.
Yeah, chapter to chapter, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't stop in the middle of a chapter. I mean, obviously, if an emergency comes up and I got to stop in the middle of a chapter, I got to stop in the middle of a chapter. Yeah. But I don't like to end my session. So when I sit down to play, I honestly like to finish at a stopping point. Mm-hmm. Where,
like reading a book.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, chapter 1's finished. Yeah. Now, I didn't do this the first day I played. I went through... You know, it felt like I was playing the introduction, you know, kind of the prologue, really, is what it felt like. It kind of set things in motion as to what the rest of the game was going to... My whole motivation for playing the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. It set that into motion. And I stopped just a little ways into that first chapter, second chapter, whichever way you want to call it.
Okay.
Whatever comes after the prologue, I stopped a little bit into that second part, but it took me so long to get through with just the prologue. Mm-hmm. Just for me, feeling things out and going through and, you know, checking drawers and picking up things and doing all that, you know, just takes a long time. Crouching and planning how I'm going to do this stuff takes a long time to play. Mm-hmm. And So I think maybe... Is that the air conditioner or rain?
Might be rain.
That's rain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's rain. Excuse me for a minute, folks. I just want to see what's currently over us right now. Mm-hmm. There are no windows in here. There are windows, but there's no windows outside. Mm-hmm. Map. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's some stuff. There's some stuff out there. All right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I can hear it coming through.
Yeah, it's raining because my umbrella's in the car.
So, for me, like, to sit down and to play this, it's like, okay, I need to devote my time. And I need to devote a lot of time because I'm very, very methodical going through these games.
Yeah.
The
playthrough's like, they say, 20 to 30 hours.
Yeah, and a lot of the times I want to find every little thing that I can. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. If I'm put in a room with a bunch of enemies, I want to make sure I take them all out before I move on.
Right.
This time when I sat down to play, I started doing that. You know, I started going through this thing, and you know, it was I was going through this underground, this basement area of a building, and I'm tired of doing this. I'm already tired of crouching, trying to find the right thing and fighting these things. I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of it. And so
was that bad pacing? Something to break the monotony of scrounging around?
I think it was, I think it was more just me wanting to, part of me is wanting to be done with it. And that's a fault of me more than it is the game for having let it sit for so long.
Yeah, because you're not going to enjoy it if you feel like you're forcing yourself.
Well, and I do feel like I'm forcing myself because Ghost is out. Ghost of Sushi is out.
Jeez.
So Ghost is out, right?
Yeah.
And there has been talk of this game.
Yeah.
And I have not been able to participate in that talk whatsoever because I have not finished the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you that it's not bad in that part. It's not bad that I wanted to skip all this stuff, but because of how I was playing this and because of how long it seems to be that I'm going to be doing this, I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm just tired of doing this. So I went into the settings and I knocked them all the way to the very, very easiest of settings you can do.
Because you're not playing it for challenge, you're playing it for the story.
I'm really not, actually. I'm playing it for the story. I'm not actually playing. This is not a game I play for the challenge.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're not playing it. You're playing it for the story, not for the challenge.
Yeah. I'm talking about, by the way, STM Fuller, I'm talking about Last of Us 2. So I turned everything. I had already turned on this thing where I could press an echo button and it would send out a wave and tell me
echolocation thing.
Yeah, and it would send out a wave telling me where enemies are, where things for me to find are. You know?
Right.
And so I'd already done that much. And then the next thing was I turned it down so that I am very resilient. They are very, very, very squishy.
Squishy.
And also the stealth part of it is even worse. I can crouch in front of somebody and they will eventually see me, but it takes a very long time.
Are we talking Metal Gear Solid level?
We're talking me crouched right in front of them as they're walking towards me. If
distance between me and you right now.
Right. If I'm crouched in front of, they don't know where that is, but basically here's me crouched and here's person standing, and they just slowly walking up to me. And the little detection thing is like, hey, it's getting bigger. They're gonna see you, but I'm out.
See you,
right? But I'm out in the open, and so that, and honestly, it's not that I'm enjoying it more that way, but it is moving it along a lot quicker for me, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because you want. I'm story.
Totally fine with that.
I think we talked about it last time. We said you don't want anything really hampering you from enjoying the
I didn't have to kill any dogs. I didn't have to kill any dogs this time. Well, I had to kill a story dog.
Yeah. Well, then it wasn't you. That was taken out of your hands.
Yeah. Well, and I want to talk about that. And spoiler, I guess, if I just said, I got to kill a story dog. Although, honestly, that's something I would want spoiled for me if I'm a person who doesn't like those sort of things. I had to kill story dog. Story dog, by the way, is just it's something that is put into your hands that you have no control over. So there was no way for me around this. I had to do it.
So is it a dog you're attached to or something, or?
Oh, no, I'm not going to go into that. Okay. I'm just saying it was a scene where it's like, oh, I have to do this. Like I didn't walk into it or whatever. I'm walking around this area and the floor gives way and I fall through and then like dog comes out and attacks. It's kind of a story cinematic thing.
And you got to do what you got to do.
And you got to do what you got to do because it's whatever. So I've turned it down all the way to easy mode. And I have no shame in telling you this. I'm playing it for the story. Yeah. And if this is the way that's going to get me there, then this is the way that's going to get me there. And bravo to their developers for their accessibility and their difficulty stuff to know that, hey, people may want to do exactly this.
Yeah.
So let's give that to them. And they did. So I played through day one. Well, I'd already finished. I was in halfway of day two. By the way, day two is split into, when I tell you I'm playing in chapters, day two has a beginning chapter and an end. And then day two has another chapter in it where it was a stopping point, basically, for me. It wasn't a sense where I just, in the middle of playing, decided to stop.
Can you recall how much time passed in the original Last of Us? It was like months, wasn't it?
It was good. Oh no, it was almost a year. Yeah.
Okay, a year. Okay.
Because if you recall, and I don't know that you played the first one.
I played the first one. Yeah.
You did play the first. Yeah. If you recall, it was like the story beats were summer.
Yeah,
winter,
I was seeing
fall,
I was seeing seasons,
spring.
So,
yeah.
Okay, it was months. Okay,
exactly.
Because I kept hearing this takes span over 3 days. Yeah. So
right. Now, which it takes span over a little bit longer than that.
But still nowhere near as long as the original Last of Us.
Not yet that I can tell.
Okay.
Obviously, so far I'm playing it. I'm not done, so I have no idea if we do a time jump or we do anything. I have no idea.
Okay.
I just know that in the beginning of the game of Last of Us 2, I can tell you, you're in the snow. It's cold. There's snow everywhere. But afterwards, you're in, I guess, the springtime, spring and summer months.
Okay.
And I don't want to say afterwards. I'm just saying when the game begins proper and you're actually doing the game stuff, then it is like springtime, summer.
Okay.
Because, because you're not wearing your big coat or anything. You're nothing like that. You're sweating and it's hot and whatever.
Okay.
So, anyway, played and STM Fuller says, and just when you think it's going to be over, it won't be. Exactly right. Not that I thought I was near the end of the game whatsoever, but I thought I was at a good story point. And it says, it has these vignettes in between levels, and which is also telling another story, which is good, and I'm glad it's telling that story. And I'm trying to be as vague as I can right now because I don't want to spoil anything. But it all has to do with the final events of Last of Us 1. And so a lot of these vignettes in between that you play are sort of not necessarily going back to that time, but they reference that time a lot into what they're doing in the story that they're telling there. So I get to a point where it literally leaves me on a cliffhanger, and it jumps into a vignette. And I'm like, okay, well, and then I understood what the vignette was doing. I said, okay, I see what we're doing here. We're putting the player into the lives of different people, or at least exposing them to the lives of different people, not necessarily just Joel, just Ellie, that sort of thing. We're putting it in there, and I see what they're doing there. They're giving the player some sort of they're putting you a connection there, and they're also giving the character the drive behind what they're doing, as opposed to the drive of what the other characters are doing and everything else. Again, trying to be very vague. It's very tough for me to do. basically is just character building.
Yeah.
Making them not so paper thin, one trick pony type person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like let's give backstory to these people. Everybody's got a backstory.
Yeah.
And they do. And so so then I'm doing that, and then once I finished that vignette, I thought, okay, this is good. We're going to go back to my cliffhanger. And we don't go back to my cliffhanger. We go back into this. We go into this another.
So you got my hopes up and you left me hanging?
And they're still leaving me hanging. And so then I play this other section that takes a good while to go through. Not as long as it would have if I didn't have easy mode on.
Mm-hmm.
And I get through with it and I'm thinking, okay, this explains some things. Probably are they taking us back? Nope, they're not taking us back.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still not taking us back. So I am not done with the game yet, so I can't give you a final judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So far, a lot of this feels like padding. Like, let's do this to extend the game. I get some of it is necessary, I feel like. But again, I'm not going to know if any of this is actual padding until I get to the end of the game and can tell you for sure that no, it was necessary for what they did there so that I could feel what I feel at the end of this game, or I could have reason for what I do at the end of this game. I will say that, and again, I'm not there at the end, so it's very tough for me to lay any kind of final judgment on this. I'm not there at the end, but playing as Ellie as far as I have now, which I can tell you now is Seattle Day 3. I've actually finished, or at least I've come to whatever's happening at the end of Seattle Day 3. Playing as Ellie, and if they are, and this is a big if because I'm not done with it. Please, let me put this, I need to put this in your head that I am not finished with the game. So I can't say that this is going to stay the same or not by the time I'm done with it. If they're trying to teach me some sort of morality or some sort of like you should feel guilty for everything that you're doing, if they're trying to do that, they're doing it wrong, I think, because there is no other way. There is absolutely no other way. When I am faced with, when Ellie comes upon a main character or a main enemy character type person, and it's a story set thing, yeah, there are boss battle type stuff where you've got to fight off one of those big infected guys. You know, I get that. That's what that is. But when it comes down to a story section and the cinematic takes over and it's the dialogue between Ellie and the other people and she's trying to get information or she's trying to get them to do something or whatever the case may be, and it all goes left. The whole thing all goes left, and Ellie ends up doing these things. I don't feel any of that because I didn't do them. Yeah, you prompted me the button so that I could struggle with whoever it is to get them off of me before they killed my character. But there is no other option.
Yeah, look, we said last time about this game, I said that when we were talking about the dogs, you got to do what you have to do. This world is about survival. You're not going to let a little thing like morality get in the way. If it's between you or me, you got to go.
Well, I
that's
mean,
the deal. So
no, I understand that, and I said that a lot. I was like, well, they're going to pull that on me first. They pulled this on me, and so I did this. It's going to be one or the other. But honestly, it doesn't matter because they don't give you the choice. There is when I have a knife, it's because I've snuck up beside I have a knife at somebody's throat, and I need them to give me the information. And they give me the information and then turn on me to kill me or whatever, and the prompt comes up for me to press a button, and she kills them. Well, there was no prompt for dodge or prompt for hit them in the head and knock them out.
Yeah.
There is no prompt. The prompt is press this button, the action takes place, and I feel nothing.
Yeah.
As a player. Do I feel something as Ellie? Not necessarily, only for the fact that, I mean, because I can't feel, and again, I can talk about this better when I'm finished with the game and I can give you spoiler talk. I can talk about it a lot better. But Ellie's motivation, Ellie's reasoning for everything that she's doing, never.
We've heard it before.
Her ultimate end goal feels justified.
Yeah, it's a story we've heard before.
Her path to get there does not.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't go through and tell you any more about this, or at least how I feel, because I'm not done with the game to know how they're going to do that. If they keep going in this direction, I'm not going to like it. But they could also switch it up on me. I really don't know. I have no idea even how far I am into this game to know how much more I've got to go. But as I was playing some of this last night and thinking about the first game, going through it, and I realized the first game was note perfect. Like, that first game was just perfection in storytelling. The visuals were great, but that first game was like note perfect, and it did not
masterpiece.
And it still does. It stands alone. It stands by itself as being as great as it is, and how much I love it. And the sequel does not diminish that, but the sequel has lost a lot of whatever it was that made one so great. And
does it make you appreciate the first one more?
No, it doesn't make me appreciate the first one more. The first one I can set it aside outside of the sequel. I do enjoy some of the narrative that's coming at me with this sequel. I do enjoy some of the storytelling that is going on. I do enjoy that. Part of it, though, feels completely out of character for the characters themselves. And again, maybe I'm going to learn more, because I've already learned a whole lot that I didn't know from the first game that this second game has been telling me about, filling in blanks and getting me to points in the story of like, oh, this is how that happened, or this is why this happened, or that sort of thing. It's getting me to it's filling in some of the blanks, and it could still fill in more blanks as I go further. But I'm not saying it didn't need a sequel. I don't feel it that way, but I don't feel like, obviously I don't feel like Neil had a sequel in him at the time he did one. He probably didn't, and he's done a very good job at crafting a sequel, but I don't think it was needed. And I do feel like some of this is padding, but I don't know yet if I can say that for sure until I'm done with the game. And I can't even the statement I just said where I don't feel a sequel was needed. I can't really tell you that until I'm done with the game. I feel like that right now up until the point that I'm at, but I can't be certain because I am not done with the game, and I don't want to lay judgment on it until then. Okay. I mean, I am laying judgment as I go through, but I'm also keeping in mind that you're not done with the game, so you don't know. You absolutely don't know. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on Last of Us 2, at least as far as I've gotten. There's a lot to say here, and there's a lot I want to say as far as if I could really speak without the restraint of trying to spoil something for you. I feel like my point would come across better, but it's real hard to do so without ruining anything for anyone. Like I said, I kind of want to have a show outside of being on the air live and like just record it somewhere else with me and Matt. And I mean, you'd be welcome to join, but you haven't finished, and I don't want to spoil anything if you're going to play it.
Play it. I mean, the best I can do is watch a compilation on YouTube or something. Yeah. It's the best I can do.
But really have a conversation with people who have played it and gone through it, and to talk about that, to kind of get that. I haven't even read. I haven't read other opinions. I've had to stay away from forums and things like that. I've just stayed away. They're really good about marking their spoiler stuff. But even then, I still stay away because I have no idea what they're talking about. When they start to go into spoiler territory, I don't want to click on that because I don't know where they're at. Because if they try and tell me where they're at, and that can be spoilery. And so it's like, so I just stay away from it. So I haven't been able to look at reviews outside of like the initial reviews that gave it like all this praise, and I'm fine with it that it did, and I didn't read many of it. But reading other people's opinions on this thing, I haven't been able to really do, because I don't want to get spoiled. So that's another reason that I'm trying to get through this so that I can look at some of these things and I can see where people felt about certain things. Again, don't feel shame going through it as fast as I'm going through it on easy mode either. I have no problem doing that. It's still going to take me a while, even with easy mode, to get through this thing.
Yeah.
It's a very, very long game. And I kind of see now why that is. But I could also say that, you know what, you didn't need this, you didn't need that. You could have left it this and been done with it, at least for now. I feel that way. But I don't know. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack. I'm not ready to unpack yet because I haven't finished my trip. If I can take that analogy even further. So, anyway, enough of The Last of Us 2. You guys, I have no idea about your comments on that. I know I ranted and raved on for a while there, so I have no idea what that was. But we got to take a break. When we come back, we will dive into Microsoft's games event thing, their E3 thing that they did, that happened on Thursday. We'll dive into that and talk about what was shown. And I'm gonna get this thing. I want to get this thing ready for us. We'll talk about what was shown. Here it is, and we'll also talk about kind of the feedback that came out of that, both with Halo Infinite and just the show overall. To talk about some of that. So, anyway, that's all coming up. We got music here from a game that just released this week. I think this comes from this one. I spelled it wrong. It's supposed to be Rock of Ages 3, but I spelled it Rick of Ages. I have no idea why. But Rock of Ages 3, Make and Break is the name of this track. That game just came out, I guess, this week. So we'll be right back with more in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music from a game called The Caves of Quud. Q-U-D? Quud?
Close enough.
Something like that? Yeah. I don't exactly know what that is, but found it and found some music from it. That's always a win. Caves of Quud. Chris is on the line. Let's talk to Chris. Hey, Chris.
What's going on?
Howdy.
Yeah, I just want to give you an estimate about how much more you got to go from where you made the swap over in The Last of Us 2, where you started playing as Abby.
Hey.
You're about 50% through that. So
I'm trying not to spoil anything at all.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Well, you just did. You said you just switched to the thing, and I didn't even mention a name.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've got a while, same amount of days as the other one, and then when you think...
Don't tell me anything else.
I don't know.
Don't tell me anything else.
It seems like this one will never end. So
that's what it already feels like.
Yeah. Well, when you get to that point where you think it's going to end, it never does. But
right.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to take you a long time. You're not anywhere close.
Oh, God. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I did put it on easy mode, so I'm moving through it pretty fast. I would think if I was still playing the way I was playing the first weekend, that I would not be near where I am.
Are you getting auto collectibles?
I'm not getting all the. No. I am speed running this game.
Well, maybe if you play it nonstop, yeah.
Like I said, I put it on easy mode, and I can easily. I have ducked out of so many fights. I've walked through so many things, and honestly, literally walked through because they don't see you. Even right next to them, they don't see you, and by the time they detect, or at least start to detect, and that little thing is telling you, hey, you're about to be noticed. I've already gone further ahead where they don't see you. You crouch, and they don't see you. Like, it doesn't even matter where you're crouched at; they just don't see you.
It's not like a Fallout mod. Crouch and disappear.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. It's a lot like that. And so, I mean, obviously, I'm going to be forced into some combat with boss battles and things like that. But but for the most part, these long stretches of like, hey, you got to get from point A to point B, and you got to go through all these guys. That's an easy thing for me to do now.
So if it's on easy mode, you don't have to even focus on getting enough supplies to build up your weapons or anything, because you're not going to be fighting a lot.
You still should at least find ammo. Yeah. You really need to do that, because ammo is still scarce, and it still takes a lot to take down some of these bigger guys. But there was one section where I could not progress without taking out these guys in a building. And it was fairly easy to get, it was actually some fun stealth. They didn't see me, obviously, but I got to use the bow and arrow some more, and it was really like, oh, that was nice. I enjoyed that little section of some gameplay. Now let me get back to this story and continue on, which I did. So, if you're curious where I'm at right now, I will tell you that I am at a Ferris wheel dealing with my fear of heights.
I know where you're at.
So that is where I'm currently at.
Yeah, you've got a while to go.
Yeah, great.
Is it not even halfway, Chris?
To that, you're playing each sides of the story of what they're going through, and you're playing the other side.
So am I not halfway? Am I at least halfway through or no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, basically, the number of days, chapters, day 1, 2, 3, like with Abby, you're doing the same thing with the other character, and you're seeing her side following up to what just happened.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then even then you think it's going to end, and it flips back
Okay.
and forth.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, you've got a while.
All right. I'm trying to be very careful, not even to spoil myself, but just everybody else.
I'm not going to go any further. But yeah, you're not anywhere close. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
But yeah, well, I guess we'll find out later on if you do complete it by next weekend.
I'm going to try. I mean, I'm going to put in time. I'm definitely putting in a whole lot of time tomorrow to get that done.
If you want to jump into Ghost, don't you?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, yes, Ghost is there, and I will get to it eventually, but honestly, it's more about the fact that, I mean, look at the conversation you and I just had where I'm like, hey, stop, don't say anything. That's my problem right now, is that anytime I'm in the realm of this game, it's like walking a minefield, trying not to trigger any kind of spoiler bombs. And so it's very, very necessary for me to be very, very careful. Yeah. For the longest time, up until it just happened last night, I did not know about, the cliffhanger and what happens afterwards. I didn't know about the switch and the things and everything else. Yeah. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that happened at all. And so I think I kind of expected it, but I didn't know when or where or how it was going to go about. Because when it first happens, it was reminiscent of something that they had been doing already. And I thought, okay, I understand this. I know what they're doing here. But then it continued further, and I said, oh, well okay. So we're gonna learn a lot more. So yeah. Anyway, I won't go any further with that, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying Ghost a little bit. I probably haven't got much done since the last time we talked, and I bet RJ's probably ahead of me now. I've only got a few story missions done. I got the new set of armor that you can get, from another clan leader that you're supposed to recruit and everything. And I've been, just been taking it real slow and easy. And
What color is the armor?
It's green.
Sea green, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, got that one.
The lady
got that one already. Yeah, got that one.
Yeah, the lady of the clan that gave it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I've got that, and I've done a few other things and got some charms and stuff, and basically just exploring and just enjoying the scenery and stuff more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it got me to thinking about my old samurai sword. I've got a real hand-forged samurai sword, and if y'all have ever wondered how sharp those suckers are,
very.
Have y'all ever felt the edge of a good skinning knife, or a hunting skinning knife?
I have.
They're even sharper than that.
Yeah, those professionally made katanas and swords like that. Yeah, they got an edge to them. They do. You scared? That rake your thumb across the thing test. You don't even want to try that on some of those.
The first time I felt the cutting edge, which is like the last 4 or 5 inches at the very tip of the blade.
Yeah.
And I would just rake my I just barely raked it across, at a 90-degree angle.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I thought I'd cut myself, and I took it off and was looking at my thumb. I could still feel the sensation like I was still touching the blade.
Yeah. That no joke. That's the level of sharpness they can get to. That's really good. Yeah.
And I've not touched it since. I've actually nicked myself on it. It flayed a tip of my finger off when I was cleaning the blade one time, and from then on I put on one of those little one of those insulated gloves, and that glove has got cuts and nicks all over it from when I clean the blade every now and then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the swords ain't nothing to play with, man.
Well, all right, Chris, thanks for calling in, man.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon and stay dry, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you. Take care, buddy.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. So Xbox did a event, the Xbox Games Showcase thing. I don't know what it is. And what they showed off was, let's talk about that. This is the pre-show stuff. There's a Dragon Quest game coming to Xbox. Exomecha is a free-to-play competitive first-person shooter. Hang on. I did not mean to do that. I meant to put them on hold. Echo Generation is a voxel adventure as well. These are new things I didn't know about. Hello Neighbor 2. What is this? Balan Wonderworld? 3D platform. Oh, Sonic and Knights co-creators have teamed back up Square Enix Studio for Balan Company to head up a new project called Balan Wonderworld. Yeah, interesting. Okay. So we got Halo Infinite as the opener. Then, and I already told you about what I was thinking about Halo Infinite as it was being shown off, and I'm like, this looks bland. And then we get a little teaser for State of Decay 3. Now, the teaser for that, I was like, hey, here's a teaser that's already pulled me in. Mm-hmm. And also looks fantastic, although I know that's not what State of Decay 3 will look like most likely. But it looks, I was like, oh, this is how a trailer can pull me into something. Mm-hmm. What is this? And then it said State of Decay 3, and I was not disappointed. I was like, oh, hey, I didn't even know that was coming. Good job. And then we got Forza again.
And you like driving? Well, I'm sorry, no.
I like arcade driving games.
You like crash simulators.
Yeah, I know.
It has a little bit of driving.
Yeah. Just Burnout as well. But Forza, it's just, okay, do it again. It's fine, whatever.
So if Forza added the ability for you to shunt someone into a telephone pole, you'd be picking it up?
I guarantee you, if this was done at E3 proper like they normally do it, there'd have been a car on that stage for some unknown reason for Microsoft to be like, here's a car that were featured in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this car. It is a car that you will never own, by the way. It is a car that is either not mass-produced or it's just massively expensive.
It's a concept car or something?
Sometimes it's concept. Sometimes it's just unbelievably expensive, like a McLaren.
I'll tell you a car game that I really wish would make a comeback. Remember Split Second?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Make something like that again.
Oh, I love that.
That would be...
Black Rock Studios out of... it was Disney.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was...
Make something like that again. Because that was a combination of racing, combat, action, all types of good stuff, all rolled in one. And it seemed to mesh together perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Another one that I enjoyed as far as racing was Blur.
Mm.
I
heard of it, but never got to play it.
That was it had a nice little multiplayer component to it, and it was good. Anyway, they would have had a car, and it would have. I never understand their actions for this. Just like, here's a car. Now here's our game. Okay. From Rare, they had Everwild, which I really, really liked the look of Everwild.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was the Life is Strange devs with their new game called Tell Me Why. Dialogue was like blur. Some parts of it I'm interested in, and then but adventure games really need to hook you with something. I mean, it's got to hook you.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to go around doing, and I say adventure and like point and click type stuff, if you're going to go around doing sort of that thing, you really, 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 it's got to maintain something for you to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. We'll see. Life is Strange was done very, very well, so we'll see how Tell Me Why does. Ori and the Will of the Wisps getting optimized for Xbox Series X. Then we got Grounded from Obsidian, which looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is like 35 years too late? No, 30 years too late. Kind of neat, kind of not. I don't know.
Came out in 89.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 30 years, yeah.
Yeah. So it's Obsidian, and it's like, that's not what I wanted from you, Obsidian. And then they talked about Outer Worlds with a new like DLC, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Obsidian's also working on this other game called Avowed, and I was like, all right, that's more the Obsidian that I'm used to. Even though it was absolutely no gameplay, and there was really hardly anything to go on, the aesthetic or the theming was like, okay, maybe that's what you're doing there. What was next? An interactive narrative game called As Dusk Falls. And if I have to play the game in that kind of animation for the entire time, I will puke. Not because it's gross, but because it screws up my vision or whatever it is. It's very, very...
Can you compare it to anything you've seen before? Because I'm looking at still shots, and it's like, is it like Erica or... What was that other game? I can't think of it right now. Okay.
I don't know. The movement is not fluid. It's like still pictures that fade into a different still picture type thing. I wish I could give you an example. It's very hard for me. At best, I can tell you that it's been used for like small little vignettes or flashbacks when somebody's narrating a story of like previously on this happened, or that's back when I was in the war and blam blam whatever, and you see things that sort of stuff. It's not this. If this is used for an entire game, I don't know that I can get through it.
Okay, I'll just have to look at the video of it because it looks like the still shots look like a updated cell shading type thing or something going on here.
Kind of, but if you look at the movement, if you ever watch the trailer and look at the movement, it's not something.
Yeah, I got something coming up now, and it's like, oh, okay.
I just thought that was the intro to the trailer, but it's more like it's going to be the entire game that way.
Yeah.
Again, this is a game called As Dusk Falls, so you could need to look that up if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's like beefed up cell shading with the animation going on in the background going on or something.
But kind of stop motion almost.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see the fading part. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing still are the people, but the elements around them are all moving. The background's moving, the clothes are moving, but the people are staying completely still throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's some movement. It's not really. I don't like it.
a little jarring.
And if that's the whole game, I don't know that I can get through it. But anyway, then we talked about Destiny 2, which something worth talking about, I guess, is that it's getting it's coming to Game Pass. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk about Game Pass because that is the reason that Microsoft should do well, not just this next generation, but also should pull out ahead at the tail end of this generation, is because of Game Pass. Game Pass is an amazing, amazing deal, and it's only getting better with what they're doing. So, and the fact that Sony's got nothing like this, nor will they probably anytime in the near future have anything like this, is going to hurt them. This is an amazing, and people, I don't think people really have understood just how amazing a deal this whole thing is, to have Game Pass, which is just a massive amount of games at your disposal. A ton. And recently released, like Carry On, the game from, I guess it's called Carrion, whatever. It's the reverse horror game where you play as the monster.
He plays the blob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little scientific thing that breaks out. It's part of Game Pass, like day and date. I can just go and play that now. You know? All of the first-party Microsoft games will be Game Pass. So I don't have to buy Halo. I can just play it, you know? Any of these first-party Microsoft, and a lot of them come from these studios, because remember, they bought, who did they buy? They bought Team Ninja, right? Is that the name of them? Hellblade.
Oh, Cinema Sacrifice?
Yeah. They bought that. They bought them. I will be able to play that the day it releases without actually buying the game with my Game Pass. Like Lethal Migraine says, currently there's 234 games at Xbox Game Pass, and there's 191 in PC Game Pass. Ninja Theory. I'm sorry. Team Ninja. I don't know what... There is a Team Ninja.
Yeah, there is Team Ninja. That's Dead or Alive.
Yeah. So yeah, Destiny 2 is getting Game Pass. The Beyond Light is getting a Game Pass. Now you'll have to still purchase the Season Pass for it, but you'll be able to play Beyond Light if you have Game Pass, and boom, there you go. Stalker 2 was announced. That was nice. I had heard rumors of like, hey, we're doing a sequel to Stalker, but that there's so much I had not, it just kind of fell off the radar. And yeah. Oh, well, that's right. Okay, I see. A sequel to the Chernobyl survival game from 2007 has tried to get off the ground for a while now, and this is the most in-depth look we've had of a revived Stalker 2 since the previous one was canceled. Okay, so they canceled the previous. I see. I have to sneeze. Excuse me.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Sorry.
Is that anything like Metro?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, setting-wise, yes.
Okay.
But not gameplay-wise, no.
Because Metro is one of them games I always heard about but never got the chance to play. And I had so many opportunities to do so, just never downloaded it or picked it up or anything like that.
Yeah. Hellblade 2, they went back over. Psychonauts 2, they talked about another game from the World of Goo folks called The Gunk. Something with Tetris effects connected. I don't know what that was. The trailer was more ambitious than... I was hoping for something better. Well, no, I wasn't. That trailer started off strange. I didn't know what it was going to be. And then when it was Tetris, I was like, well, good. Because if you were something else, I'd have been disappointed.
I still haven't played that yet.
I have not either.
Tetris effect,
yeah. Crossfire X was also shown off. Not sure it's from Remedy, though, but it does not look like a Remedy game. Warhammer 4000 Dark Tide, that is co-op, I believe. It is set in the series Grim Futuristic. It's coming sometime in 2021, like the early game. 4-player co-op, which is good. And yeah, so that's cool. I've never touched a Warhammer title, but I should look into it. Phantasy Star Online 2, a new version of that, is coming in 2021.
Yeah, so soon after the release of the game on Windows for stateside. That was what a lot of people were thinking about. Well, I mean, is this 3? No, it's just this new Genesis is a DLC basically.
Yeah. The Medium, we saw more of The Medium, and I enjoyed what I saw of that. The dual playing thing they touted as like, look, this can only be done with an Xbox Series. And I was like, I don't know about that. I feel like that's probably been done before somehow. It did, but that's fine. It feels like they were doing a flex, but I didn't care. It looked like something I wanted to play and enjoy, and hopefully enjoy. We'll see. And then of course they closed with Fable, a new Fable game. So, a lot of the stuff was, in fact, people have wrote about this, was that Xbox event was very uneventful.
The only thing I got out of it was the Phantasy Star stuff.
Yeah. It was not... I'm just looking at this article from Polygon. Every opportunity Microsoft had to execute on its planned publicity and marketing campaign, one that I imagine had been polished over the past year, evaporated within a couple of months because Game Developers Conference was canceled, E3 was canceled, Gamescom is now a digital thing, there is no Tokyo Game Show, there is no Paris Games Week, there is no PAX. And so, honestly, I feel like this year has actually affected all of these companies and how they were planning to show off not only their games but also their consoles. I wish I could poke my head into an alternate reality of what would have happened if all this stuff would have just gone as planned. How different would it have been? How much more hype would it have had? How would it have been taken? If the same stuff was shown but planned to be shown at a live event, how much different would it have been? How differently received would it have been? So I don't know. Would they have gone ahead with their plan of, like, here's the price and here's the release date? Or did all of that have to get changed because of the situation that we're in? So I don't know. I wish I did know.
I'm not thinking it would. I mean, you still got to show us something, right?
Yeah.
To get us interested.
They're talking about PlayStation 5 versus Series X. The event had a few surprises. They're talking about PlayStation. Arguably, its biggest announcement was the Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo, Ratchet and Clank, and of course the reveal of the console itself. And it says Microsoft had an extra month to prepare its own reveal, with the advantage of knowing how Sony had handled the same challenge. And honestly, I assumed that the tech Goliath, which has spent the past couple of years acquiring video game studios with roughly the same indiscretion that I acquire Kansas City Royals baseball caps, would pummel Sony with a bevy of flashy new games, only available on Xbox and Windows 10. Maybe the company would even announce a shockingly low price point, or just something big, new, and different. But that is not what happened, and of course they said up front that that was not going to happen as well. We saw a few minutes of Halo Infinite, a few seconds of Forza. The biggest surprise was the resuscitation of Fable. The presentation featured plenty of other games, but some of the biggest titles shown will also appear on PlayStation consoles, Psychonauts 2 and Destiny 2. And every game will be available on PC. The indie games, given the spotlight, may prove to be masterpieces upon their release, but smaller games like these struggle to make an impact in such marketing ways because the other guys take over so big. All of this would have been a colossal disappointment if not for the business plan on which it all rests. If the games are familiar, that may be okay. It's the strategy itself that's radical, and what they're talking about is Game Pass. This ability to pay a monthly fee or a yearly fee. Yearly fee, I think, is what, $120? Monthly fee is $10. You know, it's already had 10 million. They've already got, in April, the service surpassed 10 million subscribers. 10 million subscribers. He says, for context, Sony sold more than 4 million copies of The Last of Us Parts 2 in its debut weekend last month. And that was the company's second biggest video game launch ever. In the context of Microsoft or Xbox Game Pass, I see Microsoft's entire event more optimistically. I probably won't buy many of the games that Microsoft announced, which is fine, because I don't have to. They're going to be on Game Pass. I can, just like he says here, you can give each of those a test drive and then sticking with the ones that you enjoyed. The Game Pass is an amazing deal. And I know that it hasn't been I know that it's not new necessarily. It may be new for some people, but it's not necessarily a new thing. It's been out for a while now. But it just keeps getting bigger and bigger to the point where Netflix started out as you would go through their library and like, I want to watch this, this, and this. And when you clicked it and were done, you'd wait a few days, and in your mailbox would come DVDs of what it was you just clicked on. This goes back to like when you wanted to even watch series of TV shows. Like, give me disc 1 of season 1 of 24, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And they'd send you that. And then when you wanted to finish it, it's like, okay, I want this 2, then 3, then 4, whatever. So you could finish watching the whole thing. That's how Netflix started. By the way, Netflix, from what I understand, still does that. They still allow you to do that if you want to do that. But they have become something else. They have become the go-to when you talk about, anytime something comes out, people say, is it on Netflix? They don't say, is it on... Well, when they say Netflix, they mean, is it on Netflix? Is it on Hulu? Is it on Prime? Is it on, where's it streaming, basically is what they're saying. But for the most part, people say, is it on Netflix? Because if it isn't, then already people are like, well, then I probably can't watch it. But if it is, then there I am, because so many people have adopted that. And I think the same thing is going to happen to kind of like Microsoft, where once it gets to that point, people will be saying, is it on Game Pass? Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Oh, man, I'll check it out then. Lethal Migraine says that Game Pass is allegedly up to 15 million subscribers now. That's fine. 10 million is enough for you to say, wow, that's amazing. And there was another article that was put out by, what were they called? GameIndustry.biz. They said the console war is over. And essentially they're right. Sony's plan, and they go through this whole thing where they're like, when they talk to Sony, and Sony's plan is, we want to take our PS4 players and move them into our PS5 ecosystem, and we want to do as many of those people as we can. Microsoft is not taking that same approach at a time that they used to. We want to move our 360 players into our Xbox One players. We want to move our OG Xbox into our 360. We want to take that mass of people and move them onto our next thing, leaving behind what they had to leave behind. Sony is still in that sort of ilk of like, we want to move them from this to this, and they're going to have to leave behind some things along the way. Microsoft is not doing that. Whenever Microsoft says, by the way, some of these games are coming out for your system right now, and when you get an Xbox One X, you'll be able to move that over to that system and get the updated version to play on. Microsoft is more about building Game Pass, basically, is what they're trying to do. Sony is selling a console, Microsoft is selling a service. There are some consoles behind that, but you know what? You don't have to come along with us if you don't want to, because a lot of these games are going to be available for the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. And also, by the way, almost all of them are available on PC. So even if you aren't, like, me and James talked about this, they are not trying to sell, if you're a PC diehard, they are not trying to sell to you. Game Pass they're trying to sell to you because, again, Game Pass on PC works just like it does on console. Not as many games, but it's there. So they know they can't sell you a console. You're a PC person, man. You're going to be playing PC. You've already put enough money into your PC probably to pay for whatever the Series X is going to be or more. And so they're gonna have you on that. They're trying to sell that service, which will be interesting to see where they put a price point on the Xbox Series X, especially if they package it in with a free ever how long time frame of Game Pass to come with it. And I see why they got rid of Xbox Live Gold subscriptions now. It's just like, look, it's Game Pass. Game Pass is the thing. Game Pass is what it is. Game Pass gets you Xbox Live. This is what it is. So I can see what that is. And Nintendo's not even in the Nintendo's not competing with anybody. I don't think Sony is competing with Microsoft anymore because obviously they've got two different ways that they want to look at it. Sony wants to move the consoles, the PS5. They want to move people from the 4 to the 5. Microsoft wants to just put people in the Game Pass family so they can play on whichever Microsoft thing that they can play on. An Xbox One, an Xbox Series X, or a PC. You know, with the backwards compatibility thing. So it was interesting. Let me look at some of these comments that I've missed. Yeah, nothing is justifying purchasing a new console. I'm definitely on the way. That's Arioka. No, you're exactly right. There was not a single game that they showed off where I'm like, that's why I'm going to buy an Xbox Series X. Nope. None of that was there.
If your library's not good, you're not moving a console.
Well, I'm not saying it's not good, but none of it was like, I really want to experience that.
No, what I'm saying is you got to have something that moves consoles and games that'll help you move product.
Yeah.
And nothing there did that for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Xbox seems to be in a position here, and a lot of things have to fall in line for them to make it happen, but Xbox seems to be in a position here where they're going to be sitting pretty, you know? Sony doesn't look like they're sitting in a position where it's going to make them not in that way. But there are... Obviously, it falls onto the games that you want to play and what you want to play. You've got to look at what Sony's got for exclusives compared to what is available. See, it's a little bit different now. Rather than saying what Microsoft has for exclusives, it's like, here's Microsoft Game Pass. Like if you can get a console, even an Xbox One right now probably costs you just as much as a PS4 would cost you, or less. But if you get Game Pass, you get this much value out of it. And it's a large number compared to what you get when you buy a PlayStation 5, even if you pay for PS Plus. You know, it's lopsided. Xbox is on top of that. Lethal Migrant says that most of Sony games are headed to PC too. They are. They don't seem to be headed as fast, though. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn comes out in a few weeks on PC. And that game released way back in 2014? 15?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's taking them a while to get to that point. If they do start to ramp that up, it'll be interesting, but it's taking them a while to get to that point. They may be just using it as a test bed here, and if it does well, they'll be like, okay, let's put some others out there. Let's get God of War out there, for instance. Put that on PC. So we'll see. We got to take a break. We're already behind. Let me see who's on the phone real quick. They've been on hold for a while. Hi, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this?
Josh from Germany.
Oh, Josh, you've been on hold from Germany? Oh, God! Why didn't you say something in the chat room?
I'm not that impatient.
Okay. Well, I know it's costing oh, my God.
It's costing nothing.
Oh, it's cost nothing? Oh, thank God.
Oh.
So can you hold on while we take a commercial break?
Sure, no problem.
Thanks. Let me put you on hold. I legit felt bad for the dude because I'm like, oh, God. Calling from Germany. Okay, we're going to take a break. This comes from a game called Necro Barista. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You're a barista. Ghosts of Tsushima.
That was intentional.
That was. Maybe. I don't know, because I know how bad I butcher it. Necro Barista is a game where you play a barista who is serving the dead. Coffee and that sort of thing. It's a narrative, novel, visual game type thing, but whatever. It came out this week. This is a track called Gamble. We'll be back with more In-Game Chat right after this. back to In-Game Chat. Music here from a game called Creeks. Road Bridges, I guess, is the name of that track. It's like a puzzle game. Let's go back to the phones here and talk to Josh. Hey, man.
Hey there.
Sorry to keep you waiting, but thank you so much for holding. And now we don't have very much time, but the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I'll be quick then. First of all, good news. I moved to the new place.
Hey, nice. Congratulations. Do I have applause in here somewhere? I don't know. We have stuff. There's things, and I don't.
No worries. No worries.
I know.
Finally, out of shared living space and place of my own. So that's nice.
That's wonderful, dude.
Nice.
Yep. Other than that, let's see. I made a quick list for games.
Okay.
The Xbox presentation. I really liked the Stalker 2 and the Warhammer 40k Darktide thing.
Never touched a Warhammer game before, but I will say that I've watched. Oh God, there's a series of YouTube videos done independently by some fan of the series that take place in that universe, and they are fantastic. Argus or I don't know what they're called, but.
Yeah, there are a couple of those for 40k and for
my
fantasy
God, he has done a There's only like 4 or 5 of them out right now, but they are every bit as just amazing as something that I would see if it was done professionally by a team of animators. I can't remember what it's called.
Astartes?
Yes.
That's really good, yeah.
That's the one, yes.
The final one being the longest is also very nice.
Is it done?
I think he set up a Patreon and is looking for more people to help with that because it's so much work.
Okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, no, that's such a... Oh, God, it's real good.
Yeah, it really reminds me of the old Space Marine game. How that really felt really Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
Because it's all big and meaty and heavy and
it is, yes. Loud. But I've never actually played any of the games. So
about Darktide, you probably heard of Vermintide 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same studio.
Okay.
That makes Darktide, and it's basically Left 4 Dead with Warhammer 40k.
All right.
From the type of game it's going to be. So there you have your co-op multiplayer.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
Okay, regarding The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
You'll know when you're in the final stretch when you get the trophy for the last weapon and collecting all weapons. That's when you know, okay, you reached the final stretch of the game.
I don't know that I'm awarded trophies playing on such an easy difficulty anymore. Because I went through all of everything that I went through last night. I got not a single trophy.
Yeah, there's stuff like finding every single workbench and that, and when you miss one, it doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing, so when you miss one, you can't get the trophy in that playthrough.
Right. Like I said,
but you pretty much get all the weapons, from what I remember. I think you can't really miss one.
Okay, awesome.
So you can't help but get it.
When you explore a little, you should be finding them.
Does that include melee weapons, or just your...
Just guns.
Okay, just your guns, your bow and arrow type stuff.
Shooty things. Yep.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. I'm also playing Ghost of Tsushima right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoying it a whole lot. It's one of those open world games I've enjoyed a really, really lot compared to other open world games in the past years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you see an enemy camp in this game and you're excited to go to it because the whole gameplay loop is a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really enjoyed recently in the game, I'm already in the final chapter and in the progress of finishing up the trophies for the Platinum Trophy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really enjoyed is just that you can basically try different builds in the game that I didn't expect. You have like the samurai and the ghost thing, but you can also do an archer build.
Mm-hmm.
And there's stuff you can get with the mythical stories, quests, whatever they're called. And basically, I built myself an archer setup where you get focus energy is like a slow-mo mode back from each headshot. You can get arrows back from kills. You can poison enemies with arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And you can basically clear out the whole camp with the few arrows you have.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's like you could be the traditional honorable samurai. You could be a ninja type. I get the ghost type to me just screams out ninja type stuff.
Yeah.
And the archer is like you said, an archer. But the way let me ask you this, Josh, when you played the game, you got to the point where you got the trophy where point of no return, right? Where he was feeling a certain type of way because of what he had to do in that camp. When you met with I was like, wow, I broke that code a long time ago before this trophy came up. There's certain samurai code, like certain things you're not supposed to do. Like you're supposed to face your enemies head on, never attack from behind, things like that. Well, yeah, like I broke that rule within the first 20 minutes when I was fighting. I was doing a lot of underhanded stuff in there. But see, I was in control. He wasn't. So I got over that pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. I was doing a lot of standoffs. Those are fun always.
Yes, I built up standoffs. That was the first thing I built up as soon as I could because you get a lot of resolve out of that when you get them. When you get the each kill you do. So I was building that up really quick, and I just try to build up and resolve there.
Yeah, and it also helps clearing out camps beforehand and already thinning the herd.
Yeah, it kind of reduces the odds of 6-on-1 when you take out 3 in one standoff.
Yeah, it gets better.
Yeah, much better.
Mm-hmm. And what I've been using a lot lately was the ghost armor.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fear bonus it gives, that you get like the chance that enemies just panic and run away when you kill something.
Yeah, I've seen that in some of the upgrades that if you take someone out with this move, chances are you're going to have someone lose their nerve. And because so when they lose their nerve, do they just take off and flee the battle, or do they just have a little more time to get themselves together before joining in?
No, they drop their weapons and run away, and you can pick up their loot where they drop their weapons.
Oh, okay, nice, okay.
And I also got a charm that adds, I think, 50% to % chance things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it changed the 30% chance. You can upgrade it to 80%, basically. So there's a lot of running.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's some stuff I have to look for then when it comes to building up my stuff, what I can focus on then.
I mean, how far are you into this game, Josh?
Yeah, I'm in the final chapter, but I didn't do much of it. There's 3 chapters in the game, and basically 3 parts of the island. You go to with each chapter, and you can backtrack to the other parts.
Yeah, fast traveling things help, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I basically went about playing the game like I did some story stuff in the first chapter until I reached the second. Then I started clearing out all the optional stuff in the first part and went on to the second part and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking my time with the game.
Yeah. I was saying earlier how much interest I was having in all the stories, the side stories going on, especially with Sensei Ishikawa and Lady Adachi. Trying to figure out things. It's like 9 parts. Lady Masako.
Yeah.
Lady of the last one there. But it's like 9 parts per mission, so you got a lot to go through. I mean, but yeah, that was the thing about me was it was going to keep my interest throughout the whole thing because what I'm going through so far, it really is keeping me enthralled about it. I really want to see how these end up. So that's what's keeping me going. So yeah, looks like it sounds like I'm going to have a good time going through this end.
Yeah. A little tip from me: there is a charm you can get from one of those big shrines you got to climb to.
Yeah.
That doubles the basic materials and the supplies you get with each pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps a lot with upgrading your stuff towards the end of the game when you put that on and have it on all the time.
Nice.
You get like, instead of 8 supplies, you get like 20 or something from each guy.
Okay.
And that really adds up.
Nice. It's adding up now, but if that's found something that boosts it even better. So yeah, I'll have to look for that then.
All right, then.
Thanks now.
Well, Josh, we got to run, buddy.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm so sorry. Please call in next week, and I will make sure to get to you. And I'm sorry we went over on that time, but thank you so much for calling in, man.
No problem. Gladly.
Take care, and we'll talk to you again.
You too.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this week. We appreciate it, as always. Thanks to everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes or however you get our show for later use. We do appreciate it. Go to ingamechat.net. Join us on Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Twitch channel. We're on Discord. You can find us there. We got our Discord server is basically Destiny stuff, but we got other stuff in there too. So, why not? Join us there if you'd like to. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Did I not hang up on Josh? Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Saturday. I leave you here with music from a game called Rocket Arena, which is an EA game, I think, and it's already completely failed. But this is the main theme from that. Have a good one. Stay safe, and we'll see you next Saturday.